Hello everyone! I'm taking these videos more seriously because I'm taking Persian more seriously. It's going well, and in this video I'd like to show you how I'm learning Persian in 2022 and how it's going this month in October. Okay? Now, I lied to you a lot, okay? Because I make it seem like I know what I'm doing, but actually I have no idea what I'm doing. This month I also every time ask myself in the morning, why the hell am I actually learning Persian? Why not Arabic or another language? And to be honest, I have no idea. But I'm just doing stuff with some idea in mind, and then I make sense of it after by writing it down and noting down how many minutes I did it and explaining in front of a camera how it's actually going. But I think that's what humans do anyway, right? We first do stuff with some idea in mind and then we make sense of it afterwards. Now, this is my study plan. I'm trying to study 300 hours this year and I studied so far for 218 hours. Why am I counting in hours? Well, a little recap. This is a language difficulty ranking. And it ranks language according to their difficulty. That's what the Foreign Institute did. Okay, they have created a list to show the approximate time you need to learn a specific language as an English speaker. I'm not a native English speaker, but I am an English speaker, so I consider myself an English speaker. Category 1, you will need 600 hours to learn these languages, up to a B2 level, more or less. Norwegian is in there, Dutch is in there, French is in there. Of course, English has a Dutch or Norwegian structure and lots of French and Italian words. Now, category 4 is the category I am interested in right now. It will take 1,100 hours to learn Persian. And all its variations. So Dari, Farsi and Tatik, they are basically the same language. So Dari is the name for the Farsi spoken in Afghanistan. Farsi is spoken in Iran, or the dialect that they call Farsi is spoken in Iran. And Tajik, I think you pronounce it, is spoken in Tajikistan. I hope I pronounced that correctly. That's why I'm counting my hours, and I know that I'm, not even on 1/3. I also started only at the beginning of this year, so no problem. Now let's go to October. You can see that I had my first conversation, and I'll make that blue for you, here on the 1st of October, and it went amazingly, okay? It was fantastic. So we had a conversation of 1 hour entirely in Farsi, okay? And finally, I met a teacher who didn't switch to English. I was so happy because of that, because I had a few really bad experiences with teachers. I didn't speak Farsi very well, I still don't, but they were not able to stick to the Farsi. So that means I almost didn't learn anything. And this teacher had the patience. He also had a PowerPoint, so I could read what he was talking about, right? He was pointing to the words that he was saying, so it was very easy to follow. And he just kept trying. So that was very nice. Sometimes it was awkward, but in general it was nice. We spoke about different topics, but mainly about descriptions, okay, appearance, descriptions of people. So saying tall, short, blue eyes, brown eyes, etc., right? Kind of boring, you might think, but for me it was amazing because we did it entirely in Farsi. Okay, then after that you can see, and that's kind of the theme of this month, that I thought, look, here. Then I'm pointing to the wrong thing. I said here I had another conversation, that went great. I mean this one. Here, look, for some reason, I had expected to understand way more than a couple of days ago when I was reading a story, because of the conversations, I guess. But of course I did not. Okay, so that's kind of the story of this month, is that every time I'm having some success, I think I will understand a lot more, but I don't. Boom. So during these moments, I think, whoa, I'm gonna get fluent next year. During these moments when I'm going down, I'm thinking, why didn't I learn Arabic? There's so many more Arab speakers around in my city. Why I'm not learning that, you know? Also, every time I'm writing something and people, you know, in a cafe, I'm writing something, people stop and they say, hey, you're learning Arabic. And then I have to say, no, I'm learning Persian. So when it's not going very well, I'm annoyed by those things. When it is going very well, I think it's amazing that I'm learning Persian and not Arabic. I'm, by the way, not trying to say that they are the same. I'm just saying that that I chose Persian when I could also have chosen Arabic. That they have the same script is a coincidence in that sense. So let's get back to the plan. So I reviewed the adjectives after the class that I talked about, and I also then realized that I forgot everything. That keeps happening actually with Farsi, that I forget all the words almost immediately after I learn them. Very annoying. Then the whole week from the 1st of October till the 8th, I just read stuff on Link, okay? So let me show you my Link profile. This is my profile. Let me move it a bit so you can see actually what I'm doing here. So here you can see that I learned 1,755 words so far. Those are words that I know passively. So what I do on Link is I read these stories, okay? For example, this one.
Subject.
I read it, I click on the words,
That's
and then
all.
here you'll see a translation automatically. So this word means lessons, for example, you know, and like that I'm just adding more and more words to my vocabulary. And normally I do that pretty much randomly. I mean, I do focus on beginner content, okay? So here on Link you can go to classes, and then you can change here if you want to, you know, do beginner content or intermediate or advanced or whatever. But I am focused on that, but I'm not focusing on a particular topic within this beginner field. But right now I notice that I'm more and more focused on words that I can actually use during the classes. All right. So, for example, here I had another class here, yeah, and during this class I realized that there were lots of words that I didn't know. I didn't do my homework, so I had also forgotten the previous words, so the adjectives tall and short and all that, and it was a very difficult struggle for me and my teacher. It was still useful, but it was better how I did it afterwards, is that I studied the words after, okay, as you can see here, to make my teacher happy. And then the next class, it went a lot better actually. So that was very nice. So guys, always do your homework. And I realized after that class that there were some other words missing from my vocabulary, as you can see here. Words like nothing, always, sometimes, often, and those kind of words were missing from my active vocabulary. So I just noticed when I read back my plan like this, that I'm focused on the words that I can actually use during my classes. Sometimes though, just reading, listening, writing sentences, you know, bores me. So I did a few things to keep myself motivated. And one of those things is making a game, okay? So I wrote down lots of words on the papers like this. And they are not flashcards, but they are words like, for example, par or por, which means full. And then I have another word, khali, I think, which is empty. And then I have to match the opposites, okay? So they are not flashcards. I'm not looking at the meaning on the back side of the paper, but I'm trying to match them with another word. So it's basically like my own memory game. I also wrote down some sentences, then I cut it in pieces, and I tried to see a couple of days later if I was still able to put back the sentence together. Okay, so I make games like that to keep me motivated. And what I also do is I watch these kind of things. I watch videos from this guy. I can definitely recommend his videos. Sometimes I use them to write sentences. Sometimes I use them to just enjoy some Persian content. And when I just feel like watching something without studying, I'm watching Persian fairy tales. Now, the name is somewhat misleading because Persian fairy tales on this channel are actually just fairy tales in Persian. And they are not necessarily stories from the Persian culture or something. So that's what I'm doing. That's how it's going. And my plan from now on is to keep going like this, do more classes, and to get to 300 hours at the end of the year. Then I want to get, the next year, 2023, I want to get to about 600 hours. And then the year after, I want to get to 1,100 hours. So the plan is to be B2, which I consider fluent, in 2024, and to document this whole process here on YouTube. Now, if you have any tips, questions, if you'd like to share your language process with me, then please do so in the comments. And for now, I have some studying to do, so I will see you when I speak better Farsi. Khodafis.